Captain, we're picking up an anomalous signal, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka reported, her fingers dancing across the holographic display. It's unlike anything we've encountered before. Elena's heart raced with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. After years of searching the cosmos for signs of intelligent life, could this be the moment they'd all been waiting for? Can you pinpoint the source? Elena asked, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Affirmative, Yuki replied. It's coming from a small planetoid in the Epsilon Eridani system, just at the edge of our long-range sensors. Elena nodded, her decision already made. Set a course, maximum safe speed. Let's see what's out there. As the ESS Horizon accelerated towards its destination, the crew buzzed with anticipation. Humanity had long wondered if they were alone in the universe, and now they stood on the precipice of answering that age-old question. Days later, as they approached the planetoid, the source of the signal became clear. A massive structure, clearly artificial, loomed on the horizon. Its architecture was alien, all sweeping curves and iridescent materials that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "My God," whispered Dr. Marcus Chen, the ship's xenobiologist. "It's beautiful." As they drew closer, movement caught Elena's eye. Sleek, silvery vessels emerged from hidden bays in the structure, their design as alien as the building itself. "Battle stations," Elena ordered, her training kicking in despite her desire for peaceful contact. "But hold fire unless fired upon. Let's not start an interstellar incident on our first day out." The alien ships approached, their movements graceful and precise. As they drew near, a bright light enveloped the bridge of the ESS Horizon. When it faded, a holographic image appeared before them. The being that materialized was unlike anything they had ever seen. It stood nearly 3 meters tall, with a slender, almost ethereal body. Its skin shimmered with an otherworldly iridescence, and its large, almond-shaped eyes seemed to hold the wisdom of eons. "Greetings, travelers," the being spoke, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. "We are the Zephyrians, guardians of this sector of space. We welcome you, children of Earth." Elena stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. "I am Captain Elena Reyes of the Earth ship Horizon. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship." The Zephyrian's expression was unreadable, but there was a hint of curiosity in its voice. "You have traveled far, humans. Your arrival was unexpected. We have observed your kind from afar for many cycles, but we did not anticipate your emergence into deep space so soon." Dr. Chen couldn't contain his excitement. "You've been watching us? For how long? What have you learned about our species?" The Zephyrian's form shimmered slightly as if amused. "Curiosity. A trait we have noted in your kind. It has served you well, propelling you to the stars faster than any species we have encountered, but it has also led you into conflict and danger." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. "Are we in danger now?" "Not from us," the Zephyrian assured them. "But your arrival on the galactic stage will not go unnoticed. There are forces in this universe that may view your rapid advancement as a threat." Lieutenant Tanaka spoke up, her voice tinged with concern. "Are you saying there are hostile alien species out there?" The Zephyrian's form pulsed gently. "The universe is vast and filled with wonders, but also perils. Some species seek domination, others knowledge, and still others simply to survive. Your humanity must find its place among them." Elena straightened her posture, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "We're prepared to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Humanity has overcome adversity throughout our history. We're stronger than we look." For a moment, the Zephyrian was silent, studying Elena and her crew with its penetrating gaze. Then, to their surprise, it nodded, a very human gesture. "Perhaps you are," it said. "Your confidence is not unfounded. We have witnessed your resilience, your adaptability. These qualities may serve you well in the trials to come." "Trials?" Elena asked, her brow furrowing. "What do you mean?" The Zephyrian's form began to fade. All will be revealed in time, Captain Reyes. For now, know that your arrival has set events in motion that cannot be undone. The galaxy watches and waits. Prepare yourselves, for the journey ahead will test you in ways you cannot imagine. As the hologram disappeared, Elena turned to her crew. Their faces reflected the mix of emotions she felt: excitement, apprehension, determination. "Well," she said, a small smile playing on her lips, "it looks like we've got our work cut out for us. Let's show the galaxy what humanity is made of." As the ESS Horizon hung in space beside the massive Zephyrian structure, Elena couldn't help but feel that they stood on the threshold of a new era for humanity. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them head-on, with the ingenuity, courage, and determination that had brought them to the stars. Little did they know, their encounter with the Zephyrians was just the beginning of an adventure that would reshape the galaxy and test the very limits of human potential. The days following first contact with the Zephyrians were a whirlwind of activity aboard the ESS Horizon. Captain Lena Reyes and her crew worked tirelessly to establish a basic framework for communication and cultural exchange with their new alien acquaintances. Dr. Marcus Chen was in his element, his eyes sparkling with excitement as he pored over the data they had gathered. "It's fascinating," he mused to Elena during one of their daily briefings. "The Zephyrians' biology is so different from our own, yet there are surprising similarities in our cognitive processes." Elena nodded, her mind already racing ahead to the implications. "That could be crucial for building understanding between our species. Have you made any progress on deciphering their technology?" Before Marcus could respond, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Zephyrian vessel. They're requesting your presence on their ship immediately." Elena's eyebrows rose. This was unexpected. "Acknowledge the message, Lieutenant. I'm on my way." Moments later, Elena found herself aboard the Zephyrian ship, marveling at the organic curves and pulsating lights that seemed to be a living part of the vessel itself. The Zephyrian leader, who had introduced itself as Zorax, stood before her, its iridescent form shimmering with what Elena had come to recognize as agitation. "Captain Reyes," Zorax's thoughts resonated in her mind, "we have received an urgent summons from the Galactic Council. Your presence is required." Elena blinked in surprise. Galactic Council? I wasn't aware such a body existed. Zorax's form rippled. A gesture Elena had learned indicated something akin to a sigh. "The Council oversees matters of interstellar importance. Your arrival has complicated things. We must depart immediately." Before Elena could fully process this information, she found herself back on the horizon, relaying the situation to her stunned crew. Within hours, both ships were underway, the Zephyrian vessel effortlessly guiding them through subspace corridors Elena hadn't known existed. Days later, they emerged in a bustling star system unlike anything the humans had ever seen. Massive space stations and artificial worlds orbited a brilliant blue star, while ships of all shapes and sizes darted between them. "Welcome," Zorax communicated, "to Harmony, seat of the Galactic Council." As they approached the largest of the space stations, a structure so vast it dwarfed small planets, Elena felt a mix of awe and trepidation. What awaited them in this hub of interstellar politics? The horizon docked alongside the Zephyrian ship, and Elena, along with a small delegation including Dr. Chen and Lieutenant Tanaka, was escorted to the council chambers. The cavernous room they entered was filled with beings of all descriptions, some so alien that Elena's mind struggled to comprehend their forms. At the center of the chamber, a group of imposing figures sat in a semicircle. Elena recognized representatives from at least a dozen different species, including a Zephyrian. This, she realized, must be the Galactic Council. A being that appeared to be made of living crystals stepped forward, its voice resonating through the chamber. "I am Salith, High Counselor. Captain Lena Reyes of Earth, you and your species stand accused of violating galactic law by achieving faster-than-light travel without proper authorization." Elena's jaw dropped. Accused. We didn't know such laws existed. We've only just made first contact. Murmurs rippled through the assembled aliens. Sylith's crystalline form pulsed with what might have been irritation. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, Captain. The penalties for such a violation are severe. Before Elena could respond, another counselor, a being that seemed to be composed of swirling gases, interjected. High Counselor, if I may, the humans' case is unique. Their advancement has been unprecedented. Unprecedented indeed, rumbled a massive reptilian creature, and potentially dangerous. Who knows what chaos they might unleash upon the galaxy? Elena felt her temper rising. Now wait just a minute, she said, her voice carrying across the chamber. We came here in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship. We've done nothing to threaten anyone. Your very existence threatens the balance we have maintained for eons, Sylith countered. Your species advances too quickly, adapts too readily. You are an unknown variable in a carefully balanced equation. Dr. Chen stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overriding his awe. But isn't that the nature of the universe? To change, to evolve? Surely our adaptability could be an asset to the galactic community. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices, some agreeing, others vehemently opposing. Elena watched as factions began to form, with some counselors arguing for humanity's potential, while others demanded strict controls or even quarantine. Amidst the chaos, Zorax approached Elena. This is unprecedented, it communicated. Never has the council been so divided. Your arrival has sparked a debate that has been brewing for centuries. Elena's mind raced. They had come seeking new horizons, new knowledge, but instead found themselves at the center of a galactic political storm. The fate of humanity might well rest on what happened in this chamber. Taking a deep breath, Elena stepped forward, her voice cutting through the alien debate. Members of the council, she began, her tone respectful but firm. We stand before you not as conquerors or disruptors, but as explorers and potential allies. Yes, we are new to this galactic stage, but we bring with us a fresh perspective, a drive to innovate, and a willingness to learn. She paused, looking each counselor in the eye, or whatever passed for eyes among the varied species. We have faced extinction-level events, wars, and countless challenges on our world. Each time, we've emerged stronger, more united. We've learned from our mistakes and strive to be better. Give us a chance to prove ourselves worthy of a place among the stars. A hush fell over the chamber as Elena's words sank in. Even Sylith seemed taken aback by the human's passionate plea. Finally, the gaseous counselor spoke. Perhaps there is wisdom in the human's words. We have grown stagnant in our certainty. Maybe this is the shake-up our galactic society needs. Sylith's crystalline form shimmered as it considered Elena's words. Your argument has merit, Captain Reyes, but words alone are not enough. If humanity is to earn its place among us, you must prove your worth. How? Elena asked, sensing a glimmer of hope. A crisis looms on the fringes of known space, Sylith explained. A threat that could destabilize the entire galaxy. If you can aid us in resolving this crisis, we will reconsider humanity's status. Elena straightened her posture, feeling the weight of her entire species on her shoulders. We accept your challenge, High Counselor. Whatever this threat is, we'll face it head-on. As murmurs of approval and skepticism rippled through the chamber, Elena turned to her crew. Their faces showed a mix of determination and apprehension, mirroring her own feelings. Well, she said with a wry smile, it looks like we've got our work cut out for us. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can do. Little did they know, the challenge ahead would test not only their adaptability and ingenuity, but also their very understanding of what it meant to be human in a vast and complex universe. The ESS Horizon hung in space alongside a Zephyrian cruiser, both ships dwarfed by the looming bulk of a Galactic Council vessel. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing their destination. a remote star system on the fringes of known space. Status report, Elena called out, her voice steady despite the tension that hung in the air. Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka responded promptly, all systems nominal, Captain. The Council vessel is transmitting the final mission parameters now. Dr. Marcus Chen, who had been poring over data on his tablet, looked up with a mix of excitement and concern. Elena, you need to see this. The threat we're facing, it's unlike anything we've encountered before. Elena moved to his side, her brow furrowing as she examined the information. The data showed a massive energy anomaly, growing and shifting in ways that defied known physics. What are we looking at, Marcus? They're calling it the Void Cascade, Marcus explained, his voice hushed with awe. It's a tear in the fabric of space-time, and it's expanding at an alarming rate. If left unchecked, it could consume entire star systems. Before Elena could respond, the ship's comm system crackled to life. The crystalline tones of High Counselor Xylith filled the bridge. Captain Reyes, are you prepared to face this challenge? Elena straightened, her jaw set with determination. We are, High Counselor, but I have to ask, why us? Surely the Council has more experienced teams for this kind of situation. There was a pause before Xylith responded. Your unpredictability may be an asset here, Captain. Traditional methods have failed. We need a new perspective. As the communication ended, Elena turned to her crew. Well, folks, looks like we're the galaxy's wild card. Let's make it count. The journey to the anomaly was tense, filled with preparations and speculations. Elena spent hours in conference with Zorax, the Zephyrian leader, trying to bridge the gap between their species' vastly different approaches to problem-solving. Your people rely too heavily on technology, Zorax communicated, its form shimmering with what Elena had come to recognize as frustration. There are forces at work here beyond the physical. Elena sighed, running a hand through her hair. And your people are too quick to dismiss empirical data. We need a balance between our approaches if we're going to solve this. As they argued, Dr. Chen burst into the room, his eyes wide with excitement. Captain Zorax, I think I found something. The Void Cascade, it's not just destroying, it's creating. Both human and Zephyrian turned to the scientist, their dispute momentarily forgotten. Explain, they said in unison. Marcus pulled up a holographic model of the anomaly. Look here, he pointed to swirling eddies of energy within the cascade. These patterns, they're not random. It's as if the void is trying to birth something new. Zorax's form pulsed with intense colors. A cosmic egg, it breathed. The ancient legends speak of such things, crucibles of creation that reshape reality itself. Elena's mind raced with the implications. So we're not just facing destruction, but a fundamental change to the fabric of our universe? How do we stop it? Perhaps, Zorax suggested, its mental voice tentative, we don't stop it. Perhaps we guide it. The idea was radical, dangerous even, but as they discussed it further, a plan began to take shape, one that would combine Zephyrian mysticism with human ingenuity and the advanced technology of the Galactic Council. As they approached the Void Cascade, the sight took their breath away. A vast, swirling maelstrom of energy filled their view screens, beautiful and terrifying in its immensity. All hands, battle stations, Elena ordered, her voice firm. This is what we've prepared for. Let's make history. The next hours were a blur of frantic activity. The ESS Horizon darted around the edges of the anomaly, deploying specially designed probes that Dr. Chen had created. Meanwhile, the Zephyrian ship hung back, its crew deep in a trance-like state as they attempted to commune with the energies of the void. On the bridge of the horizon, Elena watched as data streamed in from the probes. It's working, she breathed, hardly daring to believe it. The cascade is responding to the harmonic frequencies. But their success was short-lived. Without warning, a tendril of void energy lashed out, engulfing one of the probes. Alarms blared across the ship as systems began to fail. Evasive maneuvers. Elena shouted, gripping her chair as the ship shuddered around her. Yuki, get us out of here. As Yuki's hands flew across the controls, Elena saw the Zephyrian ship moving closer to the cascade. Zorax, what are you doing? She demanded over the comm. What must be done, came the reply, tinged with a sadness that transcended species. Our ship will act as a catalyst, bridging the gap between our reality and the new one being born. Elena's heart sank as she realized what Zorax intended. There has to be another way, she argued. We can find a solution together. But even as she spoke, she knew it was too late. The Zephyrian ship plunged into the heart of the void cascade, its form elongating and twisting in impossible ways as it was consumed. For a moment, everything seemed to hang in perfect stillness. Then, with a flash that outshone suns, the cascade collapsed in on itself. Where once there had been a swirling vortex of destruction, now there was something else. A shimmering barrier between realities, stable and contained. As the crew of the Horizon stared in awe at the phenomenon, a transmission came through. It was Zorax, its mental voice faint but triumphant. We have succeeded, Captain Reyes. A new universe born, yet our own preserved. This is the power of our cooperation. Tears stung Elena's eyes as she realized the sacrifice the Zephyrians had made. Zorax, thank you. Your people's sacrifice won't be forgotten. As the transmission faded, Elena turned to her crew. Their faces showed a mix of emotions: awe, grief, pride, and determination. They had faced an impossible challenge and emerged victorious, but at a great cost. Send a message to the Council, Elena said, her voice thick with emotion. Tell them humanity is ready to take its place in the galaxy, and that we have much to learn and to teach. As the ESS Horizon turned back towards Harmony, Elena couldn't help but feel that this was only the beginning. Humanity had proven itself, yes, but in doing so, they had opened the door to wonders and challenges beyond imagination. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would they. The return journey to Harmony was subdued. The crew of the ESS Horizon grappled with the mixed emotions of their victory, pride in their accomplishment tempered by the sobering cost of the Zephyrians' sacrifice. Captain Elena Reyes spent much of the trip in her quarters, poring over reports and preparing for their reception at the Galactic Council. As they approached Harmony, Elena gathered her senior staff on the bridge. Whatever happens next, she said, her voice firm, remember what we've achieved. We've proven that humanity has a place among the stars. Dr. Marcus Chen nodded, his eyes bright with barely contained excitement. Captain, the data we've collected from the Void Cascade, it's revolutionary. This could change our understanding of the universe itself. Before Elena could respond, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka's console lit up with an incoming transmission. Captain, Yuki called out, her voice tense. We're receiving an urgent message from the Council. They're asking us to divert course. Elena's brow furrowed. Divert to where? The answer came in the form of a holographic star map that sprang to life in the center of the bridge. A pulsing red dot marked a location in a remote sector of space. High Counselor Xudith's crystalline voice filled the bridge. Captain Reyes, your success with the Void Cascade was unexpected, but it has brought to light a matter of grave importance. We need your assistance once more. Elena straightened, her fatigue forgotten in the face of this new challenge. We're listening, Counselor. The coordinates we've sent you mark the location of an ancient artifact, Xylith explained. Its existence has been mere legend until now, but the energy released by the Void Cascade has awakened it. We believe this artifact may be key to understanding the very fabric of our reality and potentially controlling it. Dr. Chen's eyes widened. Controlling reality itself, the implications are staggering. And dangerous, Elena added, her voice cautious. I assume we're not the only ones interested in this artifact. There was a pause before Xylith responded. You are correct, Captain. Several factions within the galactic community are already mobilizing to claim it. Your mission is to secure the artifact and return it to the Council before it falls into the wrong hands. Elena nodded grimly. Understood, Counselor. We're on our way. As the transmission ended, Elena turned to her crew. Looks like our homecoming will have to wait. Plot a course for those coordinates. Maximum safe speed. The journey to the artifact's location was tense. The ESS Horizon pushed its engines to the limit, racing against unseen competitors. Dr. Chen and his team worked around the clock, analyzing the scant data they had on the artifact and theorizing about its capabilities. Finally, they arrived at their destination, a desolate star system dominated by a massive gas giant. Orbiting the planet was a small, rocky moon that bore the unmistakable signs of ancient construction. Life support is minimal, but present, Yuki reported as they entered orbit around the moon. There's a breathable atmosphere inside the structure. Elena nodded. Prep a landing team. I'll lead this one myself. Hours later, Elena found herself standing in an alien corridor that seemed to defy the passage of time. The walls were covered in intricate symbols that pulsed with a faint, otherworldly light. Dr. Chen moved from panel to panel, his scanner whirring as he collected data. This language, he muttered, it's unlike anything we've encountered. But there are patterns. I think I can decipher it given time. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet shuddered. In the distance, they heard the unmistakable sound of weapons fire. Looks like we're not alone, Elena growled, drawing her sidearm. Chen, work fast. We need to find that artifact before our uninvited guests do. As if in response to her words, the symbols on the walls flared to life. A hidden door slid open, revealing a chamber bathed in soft, blue light. At its center floated a small crystalline object that seemed to bend the light around it in impossible ways. That's it, Chen breathed, his voice filled with awe. The artifact. Elena approached cautiously, her hand outstretched. As her fingers brushed the crystal's surface, a jolt of energy surged through her body. Suddenly, her mind was filled with visions, glimpses of other realities, timelines splitting and merging, the very fabric of the universe laid bare before her. She stumbled back, gasping. It's alive, she managed to say. And it's so much more than we imagined. Before Chen could respond, a new voice cut through the air. Step away from the artifact, humans. Elena whirled to see a group of aliens enter the chamber, their weapons trained on her team. She recognized their leader, a notorious smuggler known as Zextor, whose tentacled face was twisted in a cruel smile. You've done well to make it this far, Zextor said, his voice oily. But I'm afraid your journey ends here. Hand over the artifact, and I might let you live. Elena's mind raced. They were outnumbered and outgunned. But the artifact, she could still feel its energy pulsing through her, whispering secrets of reality itself. She knew she couldn't let it fall into the wrong hands. In that moment, Elena made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. She reached out and grasped the artifact firmly. I don't think so, she said, her voice ringing with newfound power. The crystal flared to life in her hands, its energy responding to her will. Zextor's eyes widened in fear. What are you doing? You can't possibly control. But his words were cut off as reality itself seemed to warp around them. The chamber twisted and stretched, and for a moment, Elena saw countless versions of herself, each making a different choice in this crucial moment. With a thought, she focused on the reality she wanted, one where her team was safely back on the horizon, the artifacts secure in their possession. There was a blinding flash of light, a sensation of falling through infinite space, and then Elena found herself on the bridge of the ESS Horizon, the artifact clutched tightly in her hands. Her crew stared at her in shock, and through the view screen, she could see Zextor's ship floating harmlessly in space, its crew frozen in time. As the implications of what she'd done sank in, Elena realized that their adventure was far from over. With the power of the artifact at her command, humanity now held the key to reshaping the very fabric of the universe. The question was, were they ready for such responsibility? Plot a course back to harmony, Elena said, her voice steady despite the weight of the universe that now rested on her shoulders. It's time to decide the future of not just humanity, but all of reality. As the horizon leaped into faster-than-light travel, Elena couldn't help but wonder. In using the artifact to save her crew, had she taken the first step towards humanity's ascension, or its downfall? The ESS Horizon streaked through subspace, its engines straining as Captain Elena Reyes pushed the ship to its limits. In her quarters, Elena sat alone, the artifact floating inches above her palm, its crystalline surface pulsing with otherworldly energy. A chime at her door broke her reverie. "Come in," she called, closing her fingers around the artifact. Dr. Marcus Chen entered, his face a mix of excitement and concern. "Elena, we need to talk about what happened back there. The power you displayed, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered." Elena nodded grimly. "I know, Marcus. I can feel it thrumming through me even now. It's intoxicating." "That's what worries me," Marcus said, taking a seat across from her. "We don't understand this technology. The implications of being able to alter reality at will, it's godlike power, Elena." Before she could respond, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, we're receiving a priority transmission from the Galactic Council. They're demanding we return the artifact immediately." Elena exchanged a glance with Marcus. "Patch it through to my quarters, Yuki." The holographic form of High Counselor Salith materialized before them, its crystalline structure pulsing with agitation. "Captain Reyes, you've violated Council directives. The artifact must be surrendered to us at once. Its power is too great for any single species to wield." Elena stood, her posture defiant. "With all due respect, Counselor, I've seen what this artifact can do. I'm not convinced the Council is any more equipped to handle its power than we are." Salith's form flickered with barely contained anger. "You overstep your bounds, human. The Council has maintained galactic peace for millennia. We alone have the wisdom to what?" Elena interrupted. "To decide the fate of all reality. I've seen countless possibilities, Counselor. The future isn't set in stone." As the argument escalated, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Yuki's voice cut through the chaos. "Captain, multiple ships dropping out of subspace. They're charging weapons." Elena rushed to the bridge, Marcus hot on her heels. The view screen showed a terrifying sight, a fleet of ships from various species, all with weapons trained on the horizon. "It's a coalition," Marcus breathed. "They've united against us." Elena's mind raced. She could feel the artifact's power surging within her, offering countless possibilities. With a thought, she could rewrite this entire scenario. But should she? "Open a channel," she ordered, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. A cacophony of voices filled the bridge, each demanding the artifact's surrender. Elena raised her hand, and to her surprise, silence fell. "Listen to me, all of you," she began, her voice carrying an authority that surprised even her. "This artifact represents power beyond our comprehension, but it's not a weapon to be wielded by any one faction. It's a responsibility, a chance to reshape our galaxy for the better." She paused, looking at each alien face on the screen. "I propose a coalition, not of force, but of understanding. Let us work together to unravel the artifact's mysteries, to use its power not for dominion, but for progress." For a moment, there was silence. Then, to everyone's shock, a familiar voice spoke up. It was Zorax, the Zephyrian leader they had thought lost to the Void Cascade. "The human speaks wisdom," Zorax's mental voice resonated. "We have witnessed their adaptability, their capacity for growth. Perhaps it is time for a new approach." Murmurs of agreement began to spread among the alien fleet. Even Salith seemed taken aback by this turn of events. "You propose a dangerous path, Captain Reyes," the High Counselor said, its tone softening slightly. But perhaps it is one worth exploring. Over the next few hours, a tense negotiation unfolded. The horizon became a neutral ground where representatives from various species came together to discuss the future of the artifact and, by extension, the galaxy itself. Elena found herself at the center of it all, mediating disputes and offering insights gleaned from her connection to the artifact. It was exhausting, exhilarating work. As the talks progressed, Marcus pulled Elena aside. "What you're suggesting, using the artifact to guide galactic development, it's unprecedented. Are we ready for this kind of responsibility?" Elena looked out at the assembled aliens, former enemies now cautiously working together. "Ready or not, Marcus, this is the reality we face. We have the power to make a difference on a cosmic scale. The question is, how do we use it wisely?" Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion from the negotiation table. A holographic projection had appeared in the center of the room, a swirling vortex of energy that looked disturbingly familiar. "Another void cascade," Zorax announced, its mental voice tinged with awe. "But this one, it's different. It's calling to us." Elena felt it too, a pull from the artifact, urging her towards the projection. As she approached, images flashed through her mind. A universe reborn, species evolving beyond their physical forms, the very concepts of space and time reshaped. "It's showing us a path," Elena breathed. "A way to transcend our current limitations and explore realms beyond our comprehension." The assembled aliens watched in stunned silence as Elena raised the artifact. Energy crackled around her, and for a moment, she seemed to exist in multiple realities at once. "We stand at a crossroads," her voice echoed with otherworldly resonance. "We can cling to the familiar, or we can take a leap into the unknown, together." The power of this artifact isn't meant for one species, but for all of us. It's an invitation to evolve, to grow beyond what we thought possible. As her words hung in the air, Elena felt the weight of countless eyes upon her. In this moment, she held the future of not just humanity, but all sentient life in her hands. The choice they would make here would reshape the very foundations of reality. But as Elena looked around at the diverse group of beings, former enemies now united in common purpose, she felt a glimmer of hope. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them not as separate species, but as a united galactic community. The true test of humanity, and indeed, all sentient life, was just beginning. The chamber aboard the ESS Horizon hummed with an energy that transcended the physical realm. Captain Elena Reyes stood at its center, the artifact pulsing in her hands, as representatives from across the galaxy watched with a mixture of awe and trepidation. "We've come to a decision," Elena announced, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility she felt. "The artifact's power is too great for any one species to control. Instead, we propose a joint initiative, a cosmic endeavor to explore and understand the nature of reality itself." High Counselor Xalit's crystalline form shimmered with what might have been approval. "An ambitious proposal, Captain, but how do you intend to ensure this power is not abused?" Elena smiled, turning to Dr. Marcus Chen. "Marcus, if you would." The scientist stepped forward, holding a device of his own creation. "We've developed a method to link the artifact's power to a collective consciousness," he explained. "No single individual will have full control. Instead, it will respond to the combined will of all sentient beings in our galaxy." Murmurs of surprise and interest rippled through the assembled aliens. Zorax, the Zephyrian leader, projected a sense of cautious optimism. "A democratic approach to cosmic power. Intriguing, but not without risks." "All growth involves risk," Elena countered. "But together, we can face those risks and push the boundaries of what's possible." As discussions continued, Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka burst into the room, her face pale. "Captain, long-range sensors are picking up multiple void cascades forming throughout the galaxy. It's as if reality itself is unraveling." A hush fell over the chamber. Elena felt the artifact pulse in response to the threat, showing her visions of cosmic destruction and rebirth. She realized that this was more than a crisis. It was a test, a crucible in which their newfound unity would be forged or broken. "This is what we've prepared for," Elena said, her voice ringing with determination. "The artifact has shown us glimpses of realities beyond our own. Now it's time to put that knowledge to use." Over the next several hours, an unprecedented cooperation unfolded. Ships from every corner of the galaxy converged, forming a fleet unlike any seen before. The ESS Horizon, with its human crew and the artifact, took the lead. As they approached a first void cascade, Elena felt a moment of doubt. The swirling maelstrom of cosmic energy dwarfed anything they'd faced before. But then she felt it. A surge of support, not just from her crew, but from every being connected through the artifact's network. Together, she whispered, raising the artifact. What followed defied description. Reality itself seemed to bend and flex around them. Elena, guided by the collective will of countless minds, wove strands of possibility into new patterns. Where there was chaos, they brought order. Where reality frayed, they mended it with threads of pure thought. The battle raged across dimensions, taxing the limits of comprehension. But with each void cascade they sealed, their understanding grew. Elena saw Marcus's eyes light up with new theories, heard Yuki gasp as she intuited navigational routes that shouldn't exist, felt Zorax's mind expand to encompass concepts that once seemed mystical. And it wasn't just them. Across the galaxy, beings of all species were changing, evolving. The artifact's power, distributed through the collective network, was pushing the boundaries of what was possible. As the final void cascade collapsed in on itself, a silence fell across the galaxy. Then gradually, a wave of jubilation spread from world to world, ship to ship. They had done it. Together, they had faced the unimaginable and emerged victorious. Months passed. The galaxy entered a new era of exploration and discovery. The artifact, now housed in a specially constructed station at the heart of the Harmony system, became a beacon of unity and progress. Elena found herself standing on the observation deck of this station, gazing out at the stars. So much had changed, yet the wonder of the cosmos remained. "Credit for your thoughts, Captain," Marcus asked, joining her at the window. Elena smiled. "Just thinking about how far we've come. When we first set out on the horizon, I never imagined anything like this." "None of us did," Marcus agreed. "But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The unknown, the possibility of discovery. That's what drove us to the stars in the first place." Their conversation was interrupted by a ping from Elena's communicator. It was a message from the newly formed Galactic Exploration Committee. Another anomaly had been detected, far beyond the edges of known space. "Looks like duty calls," Elena said, a familiar spark of excitement in her eyes. "Ready for another adventure, old friend?" Marcus grinned. "Always. Though I suspect adventure doesn't quite cover it anymore. We're not just exploring space now, Elena. We're exploring the very nature of existence itself." As they made their way to the shuttle bay, Elena felt a sense of profound gratitude. Humanity had not only found its place among the stars, but had helped forge a new path for all sentient life. The journey ahead was vast, filled with unknowns and challenges. But they would face it as they had faced everything else, with curiosity, determination, and an unwavering belief in the power of cooperation. The artifact pulsed gently, attuned to the thoughts of billions of minds across the galaxy. As Elena's shuttle departed the station, she saw not just stars, but infinite possibilities stretching out before them. The true age of discovery was just beginning, and humanity, along with their newfound allies, was ready to embrace it with open arms and open minds. As they accelerated towards the unknown, Elena whispered the words that had become a mantra for this new era of galactic civilization: ad astra per aspera. Through hardships to the stars. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning.